Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelorette Recap, premiering June 7th, 2021, just a week and a half away. But in the meantime, we are following the story with Peter Weber and Kelley Flanagan. They broke up on December 31st, 2020. Had to be the end of 2020, not 2021. They got it done before that ball dropped, so the ball could drop in a new territory, if you will. Kelley Flanagan gives more insight into non-negotiables and Peter Weber's split. It ended really badly. So we've shared her side of the story on the Chicks in the Office podcast. We've shared Peter Weber's side of the story on his own podcast. And now it's up to you guys to sift through the rubble of a bad breakup and decide which team you're on. Will you go to mom's or will you go to dad's? Dad lets me stay up late at night. Mom makes me brush my teeth. We're going to dad's. Let's go to dad's. Okay, anyway, I don't know. So let's just go into this. I'm gonna show you the worst journalism of all time. I'm going to show you what a few people said, some TikToks, some Instagram accounts, because everyone has an opinion on it, and rightfully so. This is our Rorschach test. Did I pronounce that right? This is the old ink blot of Bachelor Nation. You know, it's almost easier when it's like someone cheated on someone, or someone's the a-hole, or, you know, but when it's a scenario like this, there's no smoking gun. There's just people that didn't work out. And boy, I got some hate from some of you guys going, you know what, Dave? I'm so disappointed in you. In the side that you take. And it's like, look, I understand. I know my demographics. We had 80,000 views yesterday. Some of you guys aren't going to be happy that I see it as a tricky situation, okay? I don't see it as Kelley's queen. She's in the right. Peter's horrible. No, I see two people that liked each other, you know, met in a hotel lobby, then went on a reality show, got their Instagram verifications. They both have their own careers, and they both want to save a little face. And can't we have a little bit of that? I'm so disappointed in you, Dave. Why? I have a business degree and I host a show about Bachelor news. There's so many more reasons why you should be disappointed in me. It's like, Mom, I get it. I understand. Pay off those student loans or you'll be 36. All right, join the Patreon. So here we are. Kelley did Chicks in the Office podcast. There she is. You know, they broke up 6 months ago, and she sent little clues. She's commented on Bachelor fan accounts. She wanted to get her point across. And look, she spoke very eloquently. She shared her side of the story. She didn't seem too angry. She had one of those, it is what it is. This is what happened. But we have to understand. She sees it through her eyes. Peter sees it through his. The truth somewhere in between. And hey, I think they both can be right a little bit. I think Kelley can want a guy that's going to fight for her a little bit more. And then I think Peter can want somebody who fits into his lifestyle more. That's okay if that's what they want. All right, so anyway, she shared his side. And then several days later, Peter's like, hold on to my Diet Coke. I'm going to turn this plane right around. Wow, can't talk. And join the landing strip of life. And that's where he went to share. Let's just play a quick clip of what he had to say.
You know, I reached out and I just asked if she would be open to opening up a line of communication, just to talk and be cordial. She's coming to New York and whatnot. Zero response. Met with zero response. And message taken, accepted. I get it. But then I see her go, and again, part of the reason that this is so calculated to me is I see her go on, a very well-known podcast, a very successful podcast, Chicks in the Office. I think they're great. I had the opportunity to go on with them during the show. Mad respect for them. But goes on and would rather talk about our private relationship to the public and not, again, to the only person that other than her that should matter in that relationship or failed relationship, the two of us, not have a private conversation. And that's what I wasn't okay with.
And now people have called Peter out saying, oh, you weren't okay with her going out and sharing her side of the story, yet you're going to do it on your podcast. And it's like, yeah, the cat's out of the bag. You know what I mean? You can't control somebody else ever. But you can agree to terms. You can agree to a treaty, but once those terms are violated, if you said, hey, we're not going to talk about it with others, then she posts this, she posts that, and then all of a sudden she's doing a podcast, and you go, you know what? All right, fine, I'm sharing my side. I've been watching a lot of Survivor. It's like when you agree to an alliance, but then you try to vote someone out. It's like, the alliance is over. You take your immunity idol and you shove it up your hoo-ha, you know what I mean? So that's where they're at. And look, that's fine. They have the right. They have the right to make it messy if they want. The point is that regardless of unless you're sharing some real damning evidence of how you were wronged in some abusive relationship or gaslit or this or that, unless you're sharing that, it's just relationships end because they weren't going to work out. Okay? The only relationships that work out are, in the movie The Notebook. And even then, someone's cheating on somebody else. It's like, no one's mad at the guy she cheated on with for the Ryan Gosling. If you're a bird, I'm a bird. It's like, you know what you are? You're a cheater. That's what you are. Anyway, I digress. So let's go over here. So here's what happened. She shares her side of the story, and then people start posting, the journalism. Listen, there's a reason, and I get it. I'm guilty of clickbait too. I got to get my fiance a new pair of shoes once in a while. I understand, but there's this real sad monetization that happens with clickbait. So she says she does not say she did not say he cheated on her. But then look at this. Kelley Flanagan, I took Peter Weber back and then he cheated on me, ... a lot. So it's just wild what people will write. This is, of course, the HollywoodGossip.com, and I know what people are saying, well, you shouldn't expect them to be Pulitzer Prize winning, but it's like, have a little bit of integrity. Jeez, you know what I mean? I'd rather make a 25-minute video and get it right than get it wrong in 3 minutes. And I have to say, I will be brushing some dirt off my shoulder. This is why I believe I've had nearly half a dozen leads of The Bachelor tell me they watch my show and they appreciate that it's fair. Not all of you guys think so, but they're out there and they've contacted me, both the men and women, the Bachelors and Bachelorettes. A lot of them, unfortunately for them, my YouTube channel has been recommended to a lot of new people, and they've clicked on it and be like, all right, Dave's talking about my toes, let's see what he has to say. And it's like, look, I'm trying my best to be fair. I'm trying my best to create this content with the appreciation that their moms might be watching, that their dads, that they're watching, because I do have contestants' parents reaching out on Facebook and YouTube and different venues, and they do appreciate the fact that I'm trying to come at this from a critical eye and not just from a place where I'm firing up my pitchfork. We're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of what happened with Matt James. If you watch any of my recent content, you know that I've owned up to the fact that we've looked at him after the final rose and kind of painted him as this apathetic figure, when in fact he seems to have a heart of gold. He seems to really care about Rachel Kirkconnell, and they have an issue where they both went to hell and back in different ways, and they're still together for that, and we need to appreciate that. But in this scenario, we've got a dumpy he said, she said, and of course, it's like, look, hate Peter all you want for whatever reasons, I don't like his voice, whatever it is, but at the same time, you got to respect the fact that he's allowed to share his side of the story if we're going to be airing it all out. But check this out. So you go to this page. First of all, look at this. Peter Weber slams Kelley Flanagan's interview about their breakup. What's this little yellow thing? You can't even really tell. Look, even if you zoom in, you can't tell what that logo is. Is it Good Morning America? What does it say? Look, so remember this. Peter Weber slams Kelley Flanagan in the back of a minivan. I'm sorry. In an interview about we've all slammed something in the back of a minivan. You're either slamming back a bottle of wine because you're homeless, or you're slamming a girl that you met. Okay. The point is minivans are versatile vehicles, and they can be used for all sorts of things. So we're moving on here. Peter Weber slams Kelley Flanagan's interview about their breakup. We click on it, and then the title changes. Look at this. Peter Weber says Kelley Flanagan's interview about their breakup was very calculated. This is ABC, folks. ABC News. Clickbaited you right there. They changed the title the second you click on it. Isn't that funny? The editors are like, all right, we'll get you to click on it. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now that we've clicked you on, Peter Weber says Kelley Flanagan's interview about their breakup was very calculated. All right, Danielle Long, look, I know it's not your fault. It's the editors, not the journalist. We got to start prosecuting editors for clickbait. Seriously, can we have a little judicial committee where we say, you know what? That's too far. You cross the line, 15-yard penalty, and you're in the timeout box. Anyway, so let's see what people have to say about this. We're going to go to a TikTok review, and then we'll share a very insightful Instagram review and a conspiracy that Kelley and Peter might be in cahoots. Let's check
Peter
this
has
out.
spoken out about Kelley and has told his side of the story on his podcast, Bachelors in the City. The first thing Peter wanted to say is that he felt Kelley going on this podcast was calculated, disingenuous, and looking for a headline. He felt like Kelley had a motive because they broke up 5-6 months ago, and he doesn't understand why she needs to still talk about it in the press. He also wanted to let us know that he thinks Kelley is amazing and that she's more than a girl from The Bachelor, and that he wishes she would talk about other things in her life besides their breakup and The Bachelor. That he has 100% moved on. He knows they aren't right for each other, but Kelley still was the best relationship he ever had. He also reveals the reason he posted that breakup on New Year's is because he wanted to leave the relationship in 2020. That he actually flew to Chicago and broke up with her in mid-December. In regards to the Pokemon cards, Peter says that Pokemon cards he actually has stock in, and that Kelley enjoyed them more than she is leading on. And he also revealed that Kelley is dating someone new in Florida. What do you believe?
I believe we're wasting our time even thinking about this, but, either way, they broke up mid-December. They got back together, on again, off again. What was the old joke? An on again, off again relationship is whenever you get turned on again, you call her to come over and get you off again, on again, off again. I don't know. Stupid joke. But, look, it's tricky, it's modern dating. They're in their 20s. It's modern dating. It's tricky. It's not like, I give you my pin, we're official. It's like, no, you bumped Harrison's, now you're together. What's the deal? Are we on social media? What are we doing? And it gets a little complicated. Maybe they got back together for the Super Bowl. Who knows if he scored a touchdown, maybe kicked a field goal, safety, tight ends. So let's go to Date Card. This is interesting. If you don't follow the Date Card podcast, they're very funny ladies over there. So let's go to Date Card podcast and listen to their conspiracy about it all. Hold on one second. It says, work is a little silly today, so can't give a full review of Mr. Top Gun's podcast yet. I like that, Mr. Top Gun. But here's the initial thoughts. And the initial thought is, it is an animation of a guy farting and blowing people away. So that's the quality of entertainment. And of course, Trump sharing some Pokemon cards. Very good so far. Very good. Hear ye, hear ye. If you listen, don't take drink anytime he says badass or you'll be day drunk. Okay, yep. Says. So let's go to this.
Parked in front of my house, so you know what that means. Review time.
I like the zoom in.
Honestly, I am more convinced than ever that her interview was a setup for him to do the thing on the podcast.
Okay.
To get more listens. And I'm not mad about it. Like, it worked. Good job. But I'm pretty convinced they are in on it. In some level.
In cahoots, she says.
I think the feelings are real. Obviously, their relationship and breakup was real, but, like, neither of them actually said anything. Like, they didn't say anything.
This is true.
Just a bunch of, like, leading sentences. I don't even know, man. This is going to get them each 2 more interviews.
So let's see. Let's click on this here. So throughout the podcast, he acts like he's really disappointed by her vaguely saying anything at all. Sir, she's allowed to speak her mind, but he keeps being like, she's such a badass woman, just so amazing, she's so accomplished. So I just hope she doesn't keep stooping to this calculated level. His tone is this speaks to how low her character is by wanting to talk about me. I very much get the vibe he wanted to embarrass her, brings up how successful she is, but it's sad she had to go and be messy. What a shame vibes. He at one point says he wishes she would just move on for her potential new boyfriend's sake. And I don't know, it's very cringe and not classy despite what Dustin says at the end. Speaking of Dustin, LOL, that was the funniest part to me. First half was completely just Peter. All right, so we get to this whole thing. Of course it was a monologue. He said he wanted to vent, of course.
And ultimately, the one thing that she kind of alluded to in that interview was that he might have been, seeing somebody or flirting with other women as they were breaking up. Again, she didn't even fully say that, but that is what is implied.
But here's the problem, right, with implications. When we imply things, we go, okay, I understand. Look, if I was like a friend of somebody say I was Kelley in this scenario and someone was doing something very, I would know what that crossing the line is. But if you're not going to tell me what the crossing the line was, I can't imply it was that. Maybe maybe Peter didn't like your dad. Maybe Peter and you, maybe he put pineapple on his pizza and you don't do that in Chicago. Who knows? The point is we can't be playing that's what he implied. I guess you can pick sides that way, but I refuse, and I'd like to know. Maybe he followed Madison Pruitt on Instagram. Why would anyone do that? You know what I mean? It's we get it. You wear nice sneakers and talk about Jesus, but what else are we talking about here?
And he doesn't talk about it at all. The entire time that he tries to talk, he doesn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He didn't say anything. He doesn't. He just talks about her and her character, and how crazy it is that she went on all these podcasts and did all this. It's never about what really happened. He doesn't deny that he saw other people. Okay, I'm done because this is just silly that I got this animated over something that I wasted my time on.
My favorite, I do really like the Date Card Pod Instagram. My favorite when Chris Harrison stuff was going on, she like zooms the camera into her face and she goes, maybe it's time to cancel a white man. They're very funny people. We should do. I don't know if they're based in. Are you guys based in LA? We got to do a stand-up show sometime. When I book my Bachelor themed stand-up show, make sure you come on it. And for those listening, click on the link below. Look at this. I've got a link where you can click on all of the different things I've got going on. If you just click on the newsletter link, it'll take you to a very simple page. You just click your name and address, and then when I've got stand-up shows in your town, I'll be coming through. And my vlog channel, my SAP podcast, the Patreon, and my Discord. I just joined Discord. I don't even know if this will click to it. It's called Dave Neal's chat group. You can go on there. It's where we all chat about, oh, look at that. We have 24 members. We'll go on there, and it's where I'll chat with people after I do live streams and take voicemail calls and things like that. And of course, if you guys are interested, I've got bonus content on the Patreon. That's where, look, I got 63 Patreon members. That's a monthly subscription. You can just join for $5, $8, $12, $50, whatever you really want to spend. It'll get you all the multimedia. I'm sending out cards this week to all the new people. They're going out tomorrow, all my new postcards. So anywhere in the world, you can get a postcard from me and all the extra podcasts and behind-the-scenes things I can't share with you. I do promise you the tea's not amazing, but I do share personal stuff about the behind-the-scenes of covering Bachelor news, the contestants and people that are talking to me and sharing info with me that I can't quite share with the public. I try to share whatever I can with you guys over there. So that's the story there. I mean, listen, the one thing I just have to say again is like the people that say, Dave, I felt like I knew you and I'm so disappointed in you. It's like, we need to separate agreeing with everybody all the time from respecting each other. Respect the fact that maybe as a guy, I have more empathy to what it's like to walk through life in his shoes. That's just because that's the way I have experienced my life. Now, I engaged my fiance and having sisters and other, a bunch of, women in my life that I talk to. I can learn about what it's like to be catcalled and learn about what it's like to be objectified in different scenarios, but it's secondhand info. I don't experience that. I try to build as much empathy towards them. So a lot of people that say, oh, I'm disappointed, Dave, that you would take his side over hers. And I see Peter Weber as a guy who's a people pleaser, and I don't mean that in a negative way. He's probably newfound fame, moving out of the house. Maybe he's not as emotionally, mature as you might be at that age or this or that, but he's trying the best with the information he has. And I'm sure Kelley's trying the best with the information she has. Much like Dale and Claire when they were starting to break up and getting online, the best thing you can have is a friend like Dusty to knock that dang phone out of your hand and just tell you, be done with it. They went no contact. Kelley went no contact with Peter, but then she was passive-aggressively commenting on Instagrams, going on podcasts. And it's like, true no contact is just moving on with your life, accepting that you guys weren't going to work out, and then you just try to do better. I know, obviously, they're in the public eye, so that's tough because people are going to choose a side. But she already sort of won this. Most people were already like, yay, Queen, like team Kelley Flanagan here. So I feel like it's not worth drudging up the past. And of course, people say, well, she was on a podcast. They asked her about it. What do you think they're going to ask you about? What it's like to take the bar exam and work for your dad in a law firm, Kelley? No one's going to ask about, tort law. Well, can we refer back to the Supreme Court? It's like, no, we want to know what happened at the Super Bowl. Okay, so I have empathy for both of their situations, that they want to come out of it feeling like they were heard and respected. And the truth is that what went down, there's her side, there's his side, and then there's the truth somewhere in the middle. And if you're disappointed in me for trying to break it down on my end, what do you want to do? Live in an echo chamber? We're gonna agree on things. We're gonna disagree on things. The point is that we keep a respect. We keep it peaceful in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. All right, live stream at 4 p.m. today. We're rocking it. One more week till the next season starts. Bye, everybody.